Can you hear it? Welcome to Relay.
It's ludicrous now.
I'll go down on you for a price.
And welcome to Relay Station.
Hey everyone. Yeah. This just in. Relay will go down on people for money, apparently.
Good to
$20
know.
is $20.
Why are we
What a
still on
perfect
the
start
air?
to the show. Hey Tip, how's it going?
Hey Tip. Oh boy. It's been a week.
I really like your title.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yep.
There's a bunch more that I couldn't think of in the moment, but
There are many.
there are so many.
That
Hey,
was awesome,
Darge.
Darge. Oh,
Oh,
wow. All right.
yep.
All right, David, you have some stuff you want to talk about. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure out the other stuff in a bit, but before we turn to Star Citizen this week, I thought I'd talk a little bit about another Star game. Not
The field one.
Not Craft, not Wars,
with-
not Trek, not Gate, not
We're
Yeah.
finally going to talk about Rogue Trader.
Yeah, I
Excellent.
mean, that is definitely what this episode is about.
sorry, Rogue Trader doesn't have Star in its name.
Doesn't need one.
I do actually want to play
Maybe
Rogue
they should
Trader.
add one.
I won't lie.
It can be Rogue Star Trader. There you go. We'll just nickname it.
They
Rogue
exclusively deal
Trader.
in trading Rogue Stars.
yes. All
Okay,
those-
now we need to start. Now we need a Star Trek episode of the Ferengi trying to hawk a Rogue Star.
which, I mean, Rogue Stars and Rogue Planets are things,
Yes, they are.
which is really cool. Fucking stars gone rogue.
But they're really
We
hard
need
to
to
see because their
take it
stealth
out.
roll's so good.
Um, yes.
All right, Starfield.
On the topic of Star
One of us
things,
has played this game.
I am a capitalist whore, and I did
Congratulations
pay.
on being a capitalist whore.
I did pay the extra $30 to play the game early, and it's not just to play the game early; it also gets you the eventual expansions, two expansion packs, whatever. I'll be honest, yeah, it's $30 for 5 days early access, and
Come on, that was fucking good.
that's really
Credit to
good.
Dodge for that. That's really
That's-
good.
That's really good. Yeah, so I bought the early access to Starfield because I wanted to.
That is the best reason.
And I
Very,
judged
very good of you to support Microsoft and Bethesda. They're so hard up for money.
They are. They are. They're just teetering on
Yeah.
the brink.
Yeah.
my
Don't know
money's
how
got to
the
go
man can stay in
somewhere.
business this amount.
My money's got to go somewhere. So I sent it there. I mean, let's be clear. I've put way more money into CIG than I've ever put into Microsoft. By orders of
Yeah.
magnitude. So
Many orders. Yes.
many orders of magnitude. So let's not go there. Let's instead talk a little bit about Starfield. I've put, I don't know. I mean, I haven't had a ton of time, but I've put like 8 to 10 hours into Starfield.
No, I just want to. Is this like the sequel to Stardew Valley? No, it's on a bigger scale.
Yes.
It's an entire.
Yes.
Oh, I should have had
Yeah, it's
Dew
a-
in there. Yeah.
Anyway, go for it.
Citizen Dew, Rogue. Yeah. There's it's sort of interesting because there had been before Starfield like came out a lot of discussion about like, oh, is Starfield going to like pull away from Star Citizen? Is it going to like they don't compete
Nope.
with each other at all. And it's
Yeah, one
it's-
game's released.
yes. I want to say actually, and I know that there are some weird things that they've done, graphic stuff that I'm hearing about.
Mhm.
For a Bethesda launch, I
did
think
good?
that this is the best playing launch that they've had for a game. Like Fallout 76's launch was ass. Fallout,
Fallout 4's launch was
4
ass.
ass. I actually thought Fallout 3's was okay, but maybe I'm just rose
I
tinted
think Fallout
glasses.
3's is okay, but that was a long time ago. That was back when you really
2008.
needed the game. You needed the game to be a lot more complete back then.
But like they haven't had a good launched game in a while, and this one has launched. It plays for me on highest settings perfectly flawlessly, 1 to 2 second load times. It actually looks good. The characters look a lot more alive than any Bethesda characters previously have. One of the things I
Oh, that's
noticed
a
that
low benchmark.
no, but like they're genuinely good characters. Like I noticed a bunch of times, like you watch their pupils, and their pupils will like shift a little bit, and like they feel more natural. I mean, is it as good as Star Citizen's characters? No. Is it better than a lot of games? Absolutely. Like it's good. Yes, lower characters still suffer from the dead face syndrome, but considering the number of characters, it's like how Star Citizen's gonna have, tier 0 Mark Hamill that we see, and then they're gonna have like tier 5 that is shit.
Mhm.
Right? That's okay. The launch for Starfield has been great, I think. Story
Well-
so far is
It hasn't been launched yet. There's like
Yeah,
a few
that's
people
true.
who have access to it.
That's true. I think it's doing really well though. I was seeing like 250,000 people on Steam have bought the extra, like the early
Wow!
access.
So it paid off for them to charge more for early access.
Oh yeah, yeah, and yeah. I mean, let's also be clear. One of the best things about a Bethesda game is the mod support. Apparently, there's already hundreds
I thought you were
of
gonna say
mods
the
out
bugs.
for it.
But yes, I know there's lots of mods already out for it. Which is
Already,
pretty awesome.
tons of mods. There's upscalers. There's
There's
cheat
a bunch of
mods.
reshades
There's
that I've heard.
reshades. There's
Yeah.
tons. So it's a typical Bethesda game in that fashion. The things that I'm finding really interesting about Starfield, and I've only been to a couple planets. I haven't done a ton. The space combat is it's simplified, right? It's mouse to aim, click to shoot, fairly simplistic. Feels
Fits to what
good
we
though.
expected.
Yeah. I think I think it feels better than Elite Dangerous the last time I played Elite, but like it's nothing like Star Citizen. It's gamified to the extreme, which is fine and it's nice. Yeah, there's some weight to things, which is nice, and I think there's more weight because you can customize your own ship. You can like add parts, add things. You make your own ships, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's one of the things I think is really awesome about the game. I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to it. I'm really glad I'm getting it on Game Pass because I don't have to shell out for it.
Which is a great way to play. I think it's absolutely worth it for everyone to play. And it will certainly scratch some of that like space itch. We don't get a lot of really good space games, much less space RPGs. It's giving me a lot of like Mass Effect done by BioWare vibes,
Mhm.
which I'm actually really okay with.
Now you got my interest. Go on.
It's
In what way? In what way?
um
I'm curious.
sort of how the story feels so far. A little bit how the combat sort of feels, a little bit how the like interaction with people, like it like the conversations feel sort of like, it feels sort of similar to Mass Effect to me. I know it's like I'm playing in
Actually,
first person at least.
Wouldn't really surprise me if they're going, "Oh, we want to make a space RPG. We should probably emulate somebody." you know.
But it's definitely got a lot of the like Mass Effect notes, I think.
Mhm, mhm.
The like RPG of itness of it, or at least the stats of it, seem really well done. You put like a stat into like one skill point into lock picking, and then lock picking gives you like a mission of like unlock 5 locks to be able to put another stat into lock picking. And there's a lot of different skills, and like there's so much room for expansion and growth. Like it's really deep, I think, in that. And there's stuff that I haven't even accessed yet. Yeah, the lockpicking is also kind of fun. I'm enjoying it. Do the NPCs look off screen before walking off in that direction? No, I mean the conversations sort of, you just like tab to end and you just back out and then you carry on. But they're I think the conversations have been fine so far. There've been a couple interesting ones. There was one mission that I wanted there to be more options on how to solve it, but it was still like there's still like 3 or 4 options on different ways to solve everything. There's like persuasion, and there's a decent persuasion mini game. Like there's a lot to it. I think it's a good game. I think everyone should play it, especially when it comes out on Game Pass. It's $15 for a month of Game Pass. Try it at the very least. But what I wanted to talk about most is the ways that it differs from Star Citizen. Um, absolutely not, Darsh.
Many.
It's not. I don't think anything. Look, okay. Porn isn't as horny as Baldur's Gate 3.
Yo, come on. Be nice. Like, Baldur's Gate 3 is horny for a game. It is not horny for a piece of media.
It's really horny.
It's really horny for a game.
Just took a left turn.
But well, okay. There. I'm not sure if you've heard this yet, Shiver, but there are people do sex speedruns in Baldur's Gate 3 to see how
Yes.
fast you can have sex. Yeah, I think it's
Yep.
down to like, what is it, like 5 minutes now or something
Yes, my calling in life.
like that? Amazing. But yeah, I mean, Bethesda's a super buttoned up, like
Yeah.
they're never ever gonna do anything remotely close to that. So
No.
yeah, I mean, and plus they don't need to. They just let the nude mod come out in like 4 seconds after the game comes out because they have good modding support on their engine.
I have seen some mods that people have done in like Morrowind and Skyrim and stuff, and oh man,
Oh yeah.
wow. Yeah. Anyway, back to Starfield. So I've seen a bunch of people complaining that it's not a full system, right? Like you're on the planet, you want to leave the planet, it's a cutscene, and then you're out of the planet. You
Well,
don't.
we knew that though. We knew, like it was. We were well aware.
Oh, I know, but people are
Like,
still
well,
complaining about it.
Duh, do they not know what engine this is?
I think they've done really, really good job considering the engine. Considering
Yeah.
it's honestly amazing that they're able to do this in Creation Engine. I think
Somewhere,
Oh, yeah, I mean-
somewhere in Bethesda's headquarters, the engine lies in a back room. and you go into that room, and there's like just millions of pieces just bolted on, like
And the core of the engine's just there, like, kill me.
exactly. Like, oh my god,
That fucking engine is old enough to vote.
it is. It's much older. It could have adult children at this point, I think.
Mm.
I feel like this might be apocryphal at some point, but I
Tom
remember hearing
Howard's
of.
like, oh, that's it. We need to make a new game. And the engine's like, please, sir, no more. Kill me.
I want to be done.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
But
Anyway,
but
go ahead.
they've done a really good job with with the engine that they have. They've done a very impressive job with Starfield.
It
That
does
said,
look good.
it is a lot of loading screens. You load between the planet and space. When you travel to another planet, you load into that planet. When you travel down to that planet, you load into it. When you travel to another system, you load into that. It's all loading zones, and there's a lot of people complaining about that. And like,
Mhm.
why isn't it freeform? Why isn't it smoother? Why isn't it all open? And it's
Because
like,
it's a 32-bit engine that's only 64-bit aware.
well, and even more than that, I'm sorry, Star Citizen, but Starfield respects my time a fuck ton more.
It's a single player RPG.
I don't
Yeah.
have to wait 10 minutes to get off planet. I don't have to wait 20 minutes to like travel across the system. I click and I'm there. And I
but
And
This is
people have
different
been
games.
Being
complaining
a
about that
different
a
game.
lot because it doesn't feel like you actually are doing anything.
it's
But
all part
I
of
love
it.
it.
Is
So-
a different game, you know?
yes.
Yep, it's a different
So-
game. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like comparing your Honda Civic to a tank.
But like
Yeah.
I think my
thing.
thing
I hate,
is
to, I hate to be the one to tell you this tip, but that M2 drive ain't gonna help.
Mm.
M2 drives are meant for fucking huge file transfers, like Star Citizen is gonna make use of.
Like an SSD would be better
yeah.
than a hard drive, but I don't think they're
Oh,
beyond
yeah.
that much.
Oh yeah, an
much difference.
SSD, yeah, but an M2 drive and SSD in a game like this, the performance will be virtually the same.
Yeah, it'd be very similar. I think.
If you want to really rip it, try a RAM drive. I'd be interested to see that.
all I know is the loading times for me at least have been literally not
Very
even
tough.
an issue. Like 1 maybe
Yeah.
2 seconds. Occasionally there's a mod that I want, which is get rid of docking videos, because like when you dock with another ship, there's a video that plays of the docking, like the ports locking together and docking,
Wow,
and
that
it's like,
sounds pretty horny, David.
I know it does.
Docking is horny.
Yes, but that video takes longer than the load screens, and it's like, let me skip that. I want to skip that video. It takes too long. I've been finding it really interesting because I like, and maybe it's because I don't know, I don't have a lot of free time normally,
Mhm.
or it's because I was raised on Diablo and I have the attention span of a dead newt. But I like the instant gratification of, I want to go there. Click, I'm there. Sweet. You
Mhm.
know,
I think that's very much a personal preference more
it
than
absolutely is.
than like a hard good or bad thing. Because I definitely have had people have been like, well, I don't actually feel like I did anything or that I actually traveled anywhere, that anything happened because I just clicked and I was there, you know.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
just
6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Mm.
so I'm gonna bring my other favorite game to bring up into this, which is Tears of the Kingdom,
Mhm.
which in most open world games, I use auto travel all the time.
Mhm.
Or if there's no auto travel, I use, the vehicle, the horse to get around, whatever. And
go
if
fast.
there, yeah, I just get me there. Like there's Skyrim, even Skyrim, like just teleport me there. I don't care. There's not enough of interest on this walk for me to walk it. Tears of the Kingdom is the first game I've ever played where no, I walked my entire like 80-hour playthrough. I walked because there was a better density of interesting things on that walk.
That's really well done game design, man.
It is. And it's Breath of the Wild was different. I didn't do that in Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom,
Yeah,
because
there wasn't very good density in Breath of the Wild.
No, but Tears of the Kingdom, they got the density.
I hated that aspect of The Witcher 3. Having to just basically, it came down to hold left shift and just.
Yeah.
This seems gratuitous.
Gratuitous, I like that.
It did.
But that's sort of what I really like about Starfield is it doesn't really have that from like Skyrim or Morrowind or Fallout of it's the walk to the town. Okay, what am I doing? There's nothing. Oh, here's a little monster. I'll kill it. Okay, here I go. I find, and I think there is stuff to explore in Starfield, but like you can fly there. Or you can just get there instantly, and I don't know, I find it a lot easier to play. I really like it. I think Starfield's great. I don't think it's
because of that it might have a very short like lifespan of your attention.
No.
Okay.
No, because one of the things that's really impressed me so far is I've done, I think, like 2 or 3 main quest missions and like 2 or 3 side missions. Like I haven't done a ton, but everywhere I've been, I'll be walking down the street and there'll be like, oh, these people are having a conversation. And as they're having their conversation that I can listen into, new missions are popping up in my quest log from like, and it's like, these people mentioned this thing and you should go here and check it out. Oh, these people mentioned that this bank is being robbed. Oh, like it's just, it's so full so far.
That's cool. I like that.
It doesn't require me to like, I can just really easily go back there. I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, that makes sense.
One of the things I have seen, I don't know anything about, and I don't think you're going to confirm this for me because but anyway, is that the game does not feel alive in and of itself. It feels, apparently it's very centered around the player. And you mentioned that there's this bank being robbed. Well, what, are they just waiting for you to get there and then it plays out, or if you miss it, you miss it?
No, I think it's very centered around the player. It's like in the bank instance, it's like the people in the bank have taken hostages and they will not talk to any of the law people there, and they are requesting a third party, a neutral party, to speak to them. Well, you can go be that neutral party, right?
And or knowing the players in Bethesda games, 3 years later, you drop in and go, and they're still there, and they're hostage.
Yeah.
But that's, I think that's okay. Like, this is a game about me.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not criticizing. That's perfectly valid, but it's also it's a Bethesda game, which is one of their things was that NPCs have their own very simulated lives.
They do seem to. I haven't followed enough of that yet, but they do seem to. I have
enough time in the game yet.
I have seen them like taking the tram, and like you wake up in the morning and they all start going about their stuff. Cool. I think they've got their schedules, but the main like crafted story mission things are just sitting there waiting for you.
Which is the case in most games, which is fine.
Yeah, especially a single player. Not many games have the guts to actually cut content off from players based around the time, but some do.
Some do, and I will be honest, I hate that.
It has to be done well. There are
Yeah.
times when it's really compelling, but you can't push it too hard.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs to be done properly. There definitely have been times where I'm like, that was a really stupid mission to be timed, or why didn't you actually communicate well that that was a timed mission?
Yeah.
You know, like, because that does happen too, where they're like, you should have known that it was timed, and it's like, yeah, but most games it's not, so I didn't think it was.
Does anyone have any questions about Starfield v Star Citizen or anything before we move on to Star Citizen? I've been playing it. It's sort of the big thing that's coming out. Everyone's talking about it. I thought it'd be fun to talk about it, but if anyone has any questions, now's the time to ask them.
What was your single favorite thing in your first 10 hours that you were just like, holy fuck, that was awesome? Did I sell that well enough, Shiver?
Yes.
Good.
I was immersed. I was on the edge of my seat, and now he's keeping me in suspense with his answers I'm tap dancing around for so he can think of something.
I don't think there's been like one single holy shit yes moment yet. It's just been like, this gun's great, or oh, that was cool, or oh, hey, I didn't know I could do that, or like it's just been lots of little fun moments.
I hope
What
they
does
fix
ground
the.
combat feel like? Oh, sorry, Eric.
Oh, okay.
What's that, Shiver Short?
What does the ground combat feel like? What's the nearest game that you can equate it to?
It's a decent first-person shooter. The guns lack a little bit of oomph, at least the very beginning, in that, like, I don't think the sound and recoil of it is great, but it plays well, it shoots well, it's responsive, they miss when you think they should. Like, the stats are all there. There's a lot of modding that you can do, which is lovely, I think. I think they did a really good job. There's also a great variety so far of weapons. It feels competent. I've enjoyed... Yeah, you're right, Kemi. Like, it's a little bit cyberpunky FPS. I think it's actually a little bit better than Cyberpunk's, to be honest. I didn't really like Cyberpunk's. I think it's been okay. I've enjoyed it. Yeah, I've been wanting for a good, fun shooter for a while. I tried Remnant 2 and didn't latch onto it, which was unfortunate. I've tried a couple. I'm having fun with the combat. I think it's
good. That's awesome.
It's not as good as, like, I don't know. I can't even, like, it's not a Call of Duty FPS, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's not
Apex Legends.
No. But it's good. It's
Mhm.
And it's better than Fallout's was. It's good.
I was just gonna ask, is it better than Fallout 4?
Yep.
Because Fallout 4 is not great, but it's fun. But it definitely, was lacking in ways for sure.
Yeah. No, I think it's great.
Is the AI jank there? The extreme AI jank that happens with that engine?
There's been like one or two janks. I had one character float into the air at one point in the background.
Nice. I like
I had one character stuck in the ground at one point. I'm playing on hard, and the AI have actually been decent. Like, some of them will charge, some of them will like hide and cower. I've had a few actually like run away, like they like drop their weapons and they book it out of there.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, sometimes it's decent AI. A number of times I've come close to killing the guy, and they'll fall to the ground injured and try to crawl away to a friend to get picked up. Oh, it's a Jake. A wild Jake has appeared.
No fob slider. Yeah.
No, you're fucking what?
I mean, yeah, that's a problem.
It's come out with no FOV slider in
Yes.
2023.
Yes, it has. The graphics options are kind of a mess.
Yeah.
The map, I mean, yeah, exactly what Jake said. The game is good. There are some things about it that are problematic. The city map is just bizarrely horrible. And I don't understand how it released that way, but I'm sure that they have some excuse.
I feel like they will patch that. FOV slider. I've known a couple of games to come out recently with no FOV slider. I've known a couple games recently to come out with no ultra wide support. It's all
no,
patchable.
That's gross.
It's it's gross. It'll get patched. I have no worry about that. The game is good. It's a good game.
That's what I thought, Jake. Thank you.
I mean, yeah, it is.
Yes, I would love to ask them why the city map. Why is it completely and utterly useless in every way?
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't actually opened the city map. I will have to do that. I've just walked around and explored.
It's basically just completely useless. Well, but apparently, the I've heard the system map is really good, and a lot of the other maps are pretty good, but the city map is just.
I haven't looked at the city map. I liked the other maps, but I haven't looked at the city map. I'll have to do it.
New Atlantis map.
Oh, really? That's weird.
Images.
Not a map. To join the dots puzzle.
Darj asked up above, how much of a Stark Citizen killer isn't it? Neither are a killer for either of them, especially because they're not releasing anywhere near each other. Starfield is a good game that's going to have, I would imagine, years of support from Bethesda, years and years and years of support from modders. I can't wait to see the planets that people add, the systems that people add.
That's the number one thing for me. That's the number one thing for me. They have made it so modders can make planets. That is freaking cool.
I am really happy that cool. I'm happy that they both exist because they're completely different games.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, so this is here, I'll see if I can actually link something useful. Hey, there's a JPEG. There we go. This is the local PlanetSide map that you get in the game, and I don't understand how they couldn't actually make a map.
Yeah, that's weird.
That?
Thank you. That's exactly what I said.
All right, that is weird.
So the important question that I know that everyone is just on the edge of their seat waiting to be answered, and honestly the question wasn't asked because it was just such an obvious question that we thought you were going to say it anyway, but you didn't. You let us all down.
I do that every day.
Bloodlines 2.
Compared to Bloodlines 2, it exists, it's real, and it's made by a competent development team, so we have it. And it's not going to be canceled 2 months from its release date, so
Well, I mean,
yeah, that's fair.
It was nice to see a trailer for Bloodlines 2.
Yeah.
Please be good.
I'm open for you there, Shiver.
I will
I know
agree
it's
with
been
Jake.
your number one requested game for 5 years.
I'll agree with
I've
Jake.
still got my pre-order.
I like the flying in No Man's Sky better.
Forever.
How much are you paying for that one? 50 quid?
No Ministry soundtrack, sadly. Dodge. Did you
Oh.
know that the Ministry track Bloodlines was specifically made for the game Bloodlines?
I will agree with Jake. The flying isn't great, but shipbuilding is. Shipbuilding, base building, companions makes me happy.
I will play that game, and I won't care at all about any part of it except for building ships and building bases. I'm sure I will. I'm sure I'll like the other parts too. But the fact that those two exist is enough for me. As long as they're like not horrible, is enough for me to play it.
I know what this sounds like, and I hate myself for saying it in a way, but it's true. Of Star Citizen really is my favorite fucking space combat I've ever played.
Star Citizen's got the best
really
space
good.
combat.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
If it's not, if you're playing like Arena Commander, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. Yeah, I love Star Citizen's combat.
Star
and it's only going to
Citizen-
get better.
Star Citizen does not yet have the best FPS combat, though,
They're working on it.
which they need
They're
to
working on it.
they need to fix
I'll
that.
tell you what, really
Hey,
has
Jake.
added
Hey, Jake, can
a
you
lot of.
can you finish the FPS combat in Star Citizen for us so we can
Like in the next
Fair enough,
10,
then.
before the podcast ends, please.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you
Yeah.
got at least an hour.
One of the things that I think Star Citizen has got really riding for it that adds to the depth is the sound design. Talking of which,
No,
No,
fine.
no.
Okay,
Yes,
you're gonna have
we
to
chose-
give me a break. Give me a second here as I cue this up.
I'm going to.
oh come on, that was such a great segue.
As I
that is not
quay
the
this
right
up.
episode.
Let me. I know
Quay
it's
it
not
up?
the right. I'm gonna quay this up. Here we go.
So
It's
just
quayed.
so you know,
Just-
folks, we
oh,
didn't
yeah,
realize
'cause
we
we
didn't
didn't have
realize
them,
we
no,
didn't
no.
have clips for this until like a few minutes before. So I very roughly cobbled something together. Sorry about that.
Love the Star Wars not there.
You do not have the audio playing, sir.
No, I don't. I'm letting it play just without
It's
it.
a fucking thing about audio, and you didn't include the audio errors. What the?
I'm going to turn on the audio in a moment. We're
You know,
just watching.
That's another 10 years you have to stay with Relay. Damn, he found the fucking loophole.
Walk across this gigantic basement.
He'll be back in a couple of years. It's fine. He'll hit a loading screen and then he'll be like, oh, fuck.
Oh, it's amazing. Oh my god.
It's actually really unfortunate that I am old and crippled, because this would be the perfect basement to do that entrance that I did on the Astropub years ago.
Which one's that?
The one where I like came around the corner and crawled up and like. Anyway, it was,
Oh, yeah.
it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
I've just realized, I love the fact that you complain about travel times in games. Your house is like 5 miles wide.
That's why he complains about travel times in games. He has real life
Oh,
travel
yeah.
times.
Look,
Yeah.
it took me a week or two to get used to the number of stairs that we've got.
Yeah, I bet.
Have you counted how many stairs there are?
No, and I don't want to.
Oh man.
This house is too much. We don't belong in it, and it's scary. Yes, Jake?
Ooh, what's happening?
All of us.
Jake. Ooh,
Oh, sweet.
that's pretty sweet. FF.
I
What is that?
16. I
16?
still haven't had Jake. I'm gonna level you with you for a second here, because I've attached right above this computer, right there. There's another TV. I've attached it there so that I can at some point. Great, this is lost. It's whatever. So that
There
I
you go.
can play FF16 I don't have time because there's Baldur's Gate and Armored Core and Starfield. And
This is a good
when
year,
the-
folks. There's games everywhere that are amazing.
like, look, it's not just FF16 that in another year would be Game of the Year. Zelda is not Game of the Year this year. Tears of the Kingdom is one of the best
Which is
games that I have ever
insane.
played. It is 10 on 10, and it is not Game of the Year. How? This year is
this year
fucked.
this year for RPG awards, it's just gonna be like honestly, they should just have like a cage match. They should have Sven Vanke and Todd Howard just duke it out over that one.
To the
And then-
death.
I would really like to see Starfield
Oh.
win like RPG and Baldur's Gate win Game of the
Win
Year,
game.
or vice versa. But no, Baldur's Gate has to win Game of the Year. Baldur's Gate is
Yep.
Game of the Decade, probably.
I am continually impressed by exactly how the people who made Baldur's Gate 3 obviously loved making that game. It is very obvious. They loved it because it's everything you do. There's like 46 different ways that it could turn out. And you're like, so okay. The number of possible permutations in this game is just insane. It's so
I don't
hard
think
to
I've
do
bought
that.
a AAA game that released this year.
I mean, you have Star Citizen and it releases every year.
This places me in an existential crisis.
Go ahead, Jake. What's up?
I think the only thing that I'm going to get that might, I don't even know if it counts as AAA, would be
Yeah.
Space Marine 2.
They sure
And
will.
that's not going to be a game of the year.
What's that? What did I miss?
Not much. Us being silly.
Yeah,
I wish
Bal-
Larian
Baldur's
did Rogue
Oof.
Trader.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's
Jake
pretty
is
fucking good.
giddy.
I would be too.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, this year is absolutely insane.
Yep.
What I wanted to say before we started all this was I have. Oh, come on! How do I get rid of Nightbot?
You murder it in the daytime.
I don't even know how to allow someone to. Jake,
I
look,
can do it.
I don't know what I'm doing. You were our Twitch person, Jake, and
There
you
you go.
left us. Perfect. I don't even know how to. Oh, it's permit. I was like, approve? How do I? I don't know.
Awesome. Oh man.
Right. What I was gonna say is I've had no time this week due to life things and also Starfield and Baldur's Gate. So I didn't actually watch this episode, which I will do so after the
I
fact.
thought you were
but
watching it right before.
That was
no, that was Shiver. We had a friend over who's figuring out if she needs to go through a breakup. So I was
No, that's fine.
providing support, so I didn't have time to watch it.
Jesus Christ. You're literally living an episode of Friends.
Yes.
Yep.
Anyway. Oh yeah,
This was a really good episode. You will enjoy it.
It
I'm
was.
sure I
It
will.
was
So
very good.
you'll have to tell me what is going on. Especially
Sound.
because I will put sound on. But because of the way this works, I won't get to hear it. So even as we're watching it here, I won't know what the hell's going on. So I'm going to
Okay.
turn on the
Time for us
sound.
Talking
to,
about
time for us to lie to him for the
pew-pews.
rest of the episode.
Badly damaged. This needs to be
I can't lie
communicated.
about decent audio.
Impact from
It's against my
ballistic
religion.
laser
Oh,
they're
every time
talking
the
about the
weapons fire,
pew-pews.
they've decided to
Tell the
replace
player
it with
the sound
duck
on the
quacks.
exterior of the
'cause
ship,
it's
whereas
more immersive.
vibrations will give more
I'd love
Actually,
information about the stress that
I
that
saw a
impact
really
having on the ship.
cool
All these
video.
things are affecting
I think
the
I
whole
actually
ship
sent it to
and
Shiver,
being sort of
where a guy
let the player
decided
on
to
board
play
know
Master
whether
of
they're a
Puppets,
pilot or
but with a
not,
fart
what
pedal,
sort of
and
environment
every
they're
note
flying
was a
through.
fart. And I think CIG should replace every actually not the gunshots. The gunshots I like is duck quacks, but the impact, every bullet impact should be a fart.
I was going to say that, you bastard.
I'm sorry.
Based on the video you
Oh.
sent.
Okay,
Yeah.
But no,
let's talk
um,
about this.
they're talking about how the pew-pews are going to react to the ship. There's start just picking a random bit. There's a lot more to it, and how you're going to be
You
able to
only
figure
have,
out
like,
what
half
you're
the
being shot
experience, I would
by
say.
from
The
the
challenge
sound,
for us is to
where
make it
you're
work,
being shot at.
listening to our sounds,
The
listening
sounds
to
of
our
each
work.
ship are
We've
going to
really
be
got
completely
to,
unique, and at the
um,
moment
the
they're having to
attention
do it
and
manually.
try
But they're
to
setting it up
gauge
because they know what
sounds
a Misk ship
natural
sounds like,
and
what an Anvil ship sounds like, an Origin,
less
blah blah
you
blah blah
hear it,
blah.
the
And they're
better
working on
for us,
tools
because
to
it
make
means
that a
you are
bit
into
smoother.
it
And
well,
by the
it's
way, the
believable.
Origin ship
I think
sound
that
was
was one of the
fucking
main
spot
aspects.
on. That was exactly what an Origin ship
We
should
shall
sound
go
like.
to bed because that's
They
the
want you
thing
to be
you
able
Good.
to know
rely on,
how
basically.
well
You
the
rely on
pilot
that
is
to make
doing
it
just from
believable.
listening.
And it's one thing you
It's
don't really hear.
really,
You don't pay
really
attention
cool.
to it, but it's
And
there
they did
it
also
makes it
mention that they know the
believable at the stage
crashes,
you're in, and
like
you can
physical,
really sell the immersion of the
in-game
Presently, this is all done
Starship
by
crashes
hand,
are a bit
and
pants
it
at the
takes a
moment.
lot of time.
They're working on it, and they
So,
did a little preview at the
myself
end.
and
It sounded
Corentin
much nicer.
banded
But
together
yeah,
to make
sound.
overarching systems which will take less input.
One of the things that I thought
and
was really
make
cool is that
all
they want
the
you to
ship
be able
systems
to,
unified,
like when you're
and
wandering around
in
the ship,
turn,
be able to
these
tell
audiences will become
how hard
already
the ship is
generated on the
working.
ship at
So like
runtime.
based on the sounds the systems are making, you'll be able to see like how fast are we flying, how hard are the engines working, how hard is the power plant working, you know, that type of thing. Because you'll be able to hear, because they have the systemic stuff, you'll be able to hear like the fuel flowing through the pipes and such like that.
That's cool.
Which
Now,
is pretty fucking awesome.
One- so here's my quick thoughts on that. Like, we haven't heard about this in a while. I don't even know if they're still doing it. I hope they are. I don't know.
Players switching on the quantum
But a
drive
long time
and
ago, they talked
hearing
about
the
how each
quantum
ship
fuel
would be
traveling through the pipes from the fuel
essentially
tank
unique because it
and
would have
bind into the
its own engines,
quantum
and those
drive
engines would be
before
slightly
you
different
engage
than
quantum
any
travel and hearing that
engines
surge
in
back
any
to the
comparable
backplate
ship,
towards
right?
the quantum
Get
fuel
older.
tank, and then
Yeah.
you feel
Yeah.
the inertia of the
And I
ship traveling forward
I
at great
think
speed,
that
which
if because
really
I'm
makes the
sure
player
those
feel
two
like they're
systems
on
would be
a moving
married
ship
together
going through
in some
space.
way, in that like your ship will sound like your ship, and it's like a car. Like, when you've driven your car enough, you know what your car sounds like, and your car does not sound like other people's cars, right? It's like my car does this thing when I like start it up, that there's like 4 or 5
We
clicks
need
that go.
to tell players that are maybe sorting cargo in the
Thank you
cargo
for demonstrating what a
which
click
direction
sounds
the player's
like.
traveling. Are you
But
rolling? Are you
no other cars do that. I don't know what it's doing. It's
Where we
probably
have multiple
preparing to
modes of
explode, but
flight,
like,
which
I feel like that's really cool.
really
That's a
affects
very,
how
very
it works
solid,
sonically.
very solid theory. But no, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I do think you're gonna end up with that. It might not be like a lot like that at the beginning, but if you fly your ship a lot, like the ships are gonna age, their systems will age. You're gonna end up with a ship that isn't really much like other people's ships unless it's brand new. And,
Well, and you'll swap out parts, right? Like, you're not going to
Yep.
have your stock
you
cooler.
have all
You'll
different
swap it out.
parts, yeah.
That's going to sound
Tuning
different.
may affect
Yeah,
the sound as well.
I hope so.
That-
And that's relatively easy from a technical
You need to know
standpoint to
exactly
do,
where your
because
God
you know
hits
you could
and
just
at
change
what
the
extent.
pitch
If
very
your
easily.
ship got badly damaged, this needs to be
And I would really love.
Impact
I
from
do agree. I
ballistics,
hope that they make
laser
sure that that's
weapons, and
tied in. Is that like
will
as your
tell the
engines get
player
older,
the
they
sound
sound
on the
different in
exterior
this
of the
way.
ship,
You know.
whereas vibrations
Yeah.
will give more information about the stress
And that would be-
impact
that would be
is having
awesome.
on the ship. All these
Well,
things are
and
affecting
I
all of the
want
ship,
it to, like,
we need to sort
and
of
again,
let the player on
this might have been
board
talked about in the
know
episode.
whether a
I don't
pilot's
know. I'll
or
find out.
what sort of
But-
environment
We'll tell
they're
you.
flying through.
You'll tell me, yeah. I like the idea of like your engines will sound different under stress, and you'll be able to start telling, okay, I'm pushing too hard because it's making that sound that it makes when I push it too hard, right? And
Yep.
it's really important for sound to be good, because and again, and I know we've mentioned this before recently, because I think we've talked about this, in the last couple weeks,
You would only have,
but you
like,
don't
Arctic
notice
storms, I would say.
The challenge for
when
us is to
sound
make
isn't
it
great,
worth listening to our sound,
but you
listening
do
to our
notice
work.
when it
We really
is.
got to
Like,
earn the attention.
there's just
We try to make
more,
games sound
and things
natural, and
feel
the
more.
less you hear it,
Um,
the better it is for
Sometimes it
us,
takes a while to
because
realize
you
it
are
too,
into this
because then
world
you're
and
just
it's
like,
believable.
wait, this sounds
think that's what's
exactly
cool
how I
in that
think it should
space.
sound. Okay, that's pretty cool.
We call that the best because
But
that's
yeah,
the
you
thing
definitely.
really you rely
I
on,
love
basically.
good
You
sound
rely
in
on
games.
that to make
It
it
always makes
believable.
me
And it's one
very
thing
happy.
you don't really hear.
It's a
you
lot
pay
of
attention
works.
to it, but it's there, and it makes
The
it
one thing that we
believable
haven't
a
said
space
as
you're
well,
in,
which I thought
and
was
it can
really
sell
cool,
the
nice and
immersion of
touch,
the
was the
ship.
positional
Presently,
audio,
this is all done
which
by hand,
they actually do demonstrate
it takes a lot of
during the
time.
video, and
So
it plays quite an
myself
important
and
part
Carrington
as well,
have
because just from listening
banded
to
together
things, you could
to
work out
make
whether or not you're in
overarching
Quantum
systems
Drive, and
which will
the
take
sound
less
will
input
change
and
as you get
make
closer to the engine,
all
and then
the
you'll
ship
know whether or not
systems
the engine
unified,
is also under
and
strain,
in
what sort of
turn,
speed
these
you're going, and
animators
so
will
on,
become
things like that. It's a
already
really cool
generated
little
on the
thing.
ship at runtime.
Say little. I love sound. Simple as that. And they're putting in so much effort into sound, and like they said at the start, you don't notice it until it's gone.
Mhm.
And yeah, it can also, I mean, there's also it's becoming a little bit overused and cliched now, but middle of a firefight, you're hearing everything straining, the ship's rattling, the guns are going off, and then suddenly there's this explosive decompression, everything's blown out
Let's
into
switch on
space,
the
and
quantum
silence.
drive and hear
Just
the
silence,
A
yeah.
dramatic
quantum
silence,
fuel
and you
traveling
know
through
that
the
shit's
pipes
hit
of
the
the
fan.
fuel tank
I love that.
and back
Mm.
into the
Um,
quantum drive before you engage quantum
They-
travel and hearing
There's a
that
really
back
great
with a
moment in
backfire
this
towards
too,
the
where they
quantum
where
fuel tank, and
you
then you feel the
player
inertia
jumps
of
into
the
a turret
ship traveling
and
forward
like in the
really
middle of a
speed,
fight and
which
starts firing, and
really
it's
make
just
the player
the whole
feel
thing
like they're
sounds
on
awesome.
a moving ship going
But
through space.
this is all stuff that's work in progress. They are, it's where they're heading to.
That's true.
I mean, it's Star Citizen. Everything is work in progress and will be for.
I just mean it's
A
not
while.
the game right now. But yeah, it was really good.
Good.
I'm not a huge lover of sound episodes in general, mostly because some of them I don't find to be that interesting. But this one was just amazing. I
Are
loved
you
it.
evading enemies?
We want
I-
to
Wherein we have multiple modes of flight, which
So this, I mean,
really affect how the thrusters work sonically.
this is something that they've done again a lot, and I've said this before. Something they've done a lot better this year is the supporting, like
The B-roll.
video stuff, the B-roll.
The B-roll.
In the episodes, because some prior audio episodes didn't have great B-roll, and it's hard to tell what they're talking about without the visuals in an audio episode. But if they've got like this, I mean, again, haven't seen it, but this looks like there's a lot of good B-roll and examples of what they're talking about, and you really need those examples to ground it
Laser
in
weapons and bullets will tell the player
some form of reality, right? So I think that their like extended B-roll that they've been putting in and putting out this year has really helped in a lot of these instances where like
what sort of environment they're flying through.
sure.
Yeah, in general,
I-
their associated videos with almost every episode have been like really good this year.
I did notice they made a mistake with the Gladius's Gatling gun. Gave it the wrong sound effect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's meant to go daka 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 daka. All ballistic guns should say like daka daka daka.
You would only have.
Well, I think that's
Arctic
the
experience, I would say.
the challenge for us is to make it worth listening to our sounds.
Not the
Above our
Ion, but
worth.
the Inferno.
We've really got to earn the attention.
We try to
Well, I
Is
guess
it
the
DECA?
Inferno
sounds
it shoots too
natural
fast. It's
and
not a DACA. I guess the Ion. Well,
the
no,
less
the
you
Ion's
hear
a.
it, the better it is for us because it means you are into this.
The Ion
game
just goes
actually.
boom.
I think that was one of the main aspects.
Still needs more DACA.
We call that the
Yep.
bet
Everything
because
needs more
that's the
DACA.
thing you
I-
you lay on basically. You rely on that to make it believable. And it's
I
one thing you don't
Have to
really
admit,
hear.
the
don't
the
pay
thing that made me
attention to it,
really happy with
but
the
it's
sound
there
of
and
the
it makes
doors.
it believable as a
It's,
space.
it's such a stupid thing to be happy over, but I thought the doors, the sound of the doors, were just fucking perfect. Absolutely perfect.
This game is going to have the best atmosphere in the ships. Like the whole 9 yards, the sound, the visuals, the special effects. But it has to.
Thank you, Tip. I don't feel like such a
It
weirdo.
has to. Like if you're an engineer on an Idris on below decks, you need to be able to know what's going on outside the ship, which is a hard thing to do. It's a big job that they have to be able to communicate to the player what's happening when you're just like running around the ship.
It's again, it's Starfield is a great game, and I
Mhm.
think it's done a lot of things very right. I think it's I genuinely think it's a shit ton of fun. I, as of right now, am probably giving it a 9 or 10. Like I think it's really good. But it's still. Thanks for the follow, Fluffy Jab. Appreciate it. I like the name also. It's good. But it's a game. It is very much just it's a game. Like the sound is fine, the guns are fine, everything is fine, and I think that's the biggest difference between it and Star Citizen, where Starfield is like, okay, this is how we're doing it, this is fine. Oh, we'll cut the corners here. Oh, we'll just instead we the engine doesn't support this, so we're just gonna have everything be loaded. Like it's a game. And Starfield or Star Citizen, yes, it's a game, but it's also they still refuse to cut any of those corners when it comes to sound, when it comes to
Fidelity, man. The fidelity.
And let me be clear, I still think they're fucking insane.
Mm-hmm.
And
we were all well aware of that a long time ago.
And I still don't know if it's going to be a good game when it's done.
I think it's a good game now. Well, it was a good game last year. It could use a little bit of polish at the moment, but
It needs, but is it going to be fun? I don't know how fun it's going to be, and that's something that I still think CIG need to tune a lot. Is the length of time that it takes to do things and the downtime, and what do you do when you're 20 minutes across, there's all this tuning that has to happen. But that's all stuff that is easy to tune to how they want it to be.
that's all beta stuff, right? That's
Yeah.
that's the stuff that you tune in early access games.
The thing that I still love is just, oh wait, you mean we get to watch this every week and see what the fuck they're doing? Because
There's been a lot of people who've said that Starfield has really gave them a good appreciation for how much CIG is trying to do in Star Citizen.
It absolutely does, because Starfield is great. It is huge. It's expansive. I mean, it's a different game, but yeah, they didn't even try to do most of the things that Star Citizen's doing because their engine won't allow it. It will not.
Well, and it would have taken another 5 years and $500 million to make.
But I love it. We feel very, very sad for my children in that,
They won't see you for the rest of the year.
well, no, I mean, yeah, there's that too. No, that for that I feel sad for my wife. The kids don't care about me. I feel very sad that based on, climate change and resource scarcity and where certain things are heading, we are likely living in some of the best times for video games right now.
It'll be fine, David. Be optimistic.
I am being optimistic.
Someone
this is
hasn't
me
visited Earth in Starfield.
This is me being optimistic. Oh, yeah. This is me being optimistic. Anyway, this year is fucking insane.
This
and
is
I
me
love
being
it.
optimistic. We're all gonna die. Okay.
No, I didn't.
cool.
I didn't say we'd all die. I said, due to things such as resource scarcity and territorial conflicts, there might not be as healthy a gaming scene in
Yep.
30 or 40
Well,
years,
I mean, hell, you can already see it.
and that's accurate.
Look at Stalker.
Yep.
I feel
Well,
so bad
I
for
mean-
those devs.
In 30, 40 years, we might have a beta of Star Citizen.
Yeah, I know. It's exciting to look forward to.
Yeah.
They'll just be finishing up the final touches. Jake will be running the company at that point. CEO.
He'll be a head in a jar.
Yep. Is Jake still there? Or is
I
he
don't-
ignoring us now?
I would ignore us.
But yeah, I know Star Citizen's taking a long time. But it's so cool what they're trying to do. And I really don't think I'm not really concerned about the game being fun. We had fun playing the game last year. And we often only played it for like 45 minutes, and we did stuff, and we did like 2 or 3 or 4 missions.
Star Citizen started in 2012, correct?
Yep. I mean, sort of.
Well, active development started in what? We've
2014.
said 2 to 3 years after.
First quarter of 2014, they really actually started to get their feet under them. They had to basically build a studio first, so
Yeah.
that was,
Active development. So, okay, again, Starfield, great game. Not nearly as technically demanding as what Star Citizen is doing. Not even
No.
close. Starfield started active development in November 2015. And it
So
came out now.
Yeah, so it took 8 years. Fallout 4 took 8 years as well. It takes
Yeah.
them 8 years to make a game like this.
I'm sorry. I still genuinely don't think Star Citizen is taking too much time.
No, I don't think so either. And I mean, they had Starfield cost $400 million. So,
The money adds the money comparisons add up and the time comparisons add up. Star Citizen is doing more, which takes longer and costs more.
Mhm.
But it's not like it's
I mean, they're
Ins-
also
I-
literally
yeah.
building it from the ground up.
yeah, that's a big difference too.
In an engine that's not
Do we
very
think-
user friendly.
I have a question.
Yep.
Do we think? First of all, do you think? Here's for question number 1. Do you think that Bethesda, before they fold up and decide to not be a company anymore someday, give up using this engine?
I know
Only fucking
that
hope.
I know that Dad Howard said that Dad Howard said that Elder Scrolls 6 would be on the same engine.
Yep, he sure did.
I don't know if that's going to hold true.
I
will.
mean, it takes them 8 years to make a game that it's supposed to come out in 5 years. They probably already made the call.
There's a reason. I mean, I get the reason why they still use the same engine.
Well, yeah, it makes it
Because
easier and
it's
cheaper
so-
to make it.
Easier, cheaper to make it, and it's also extremely fucking moddable.
Mhm.
However, there's no real valid excuse when they bought id Software.
That's
Exactly.
What is id Software doing at the moment?
They're making another Doom, obviously.
I'm one I will say again. So, and I was castigated for this several years ago when Bethesda said we have made significant updates to the creation engine that allow us to do Starfield. And some people that I talked to at the time were like, I don't believe it. It's going to be the same old shit. And I'm sorry. Yes. Because play Starfield and
well,
you
I
will see.
will be able to tell it's the creation engine because I'm pretty
Yes.
sure I will be able to.
You will be able to tell that it's creation engine, but you will also be able to tell that this is not the same creation engine.
They
I
definitely
just
put a lot
want
of
to
work.
point
into
out to Kemi that Star Citizen doesn't use LODs.
Uh,
it. No,
it
oh,
does
they
on
used to.
ships. It does on ships, yeah.
Not sure about ships, but didn't they,
Yep.
a few years ago they changed the system over so they don't need to use LODs.
I remember
thought-
hearing them talk about them a lot. I don't know. I didn't hear. They stopped using
They
them.
certainly used to, but I think they got rid of them because
Okay.
don't need to. They still use. Oh, okay.
No, they still use LODs. No, like
Okay.
Nanite in Unreal is genuinely insane. It is beyond
Oh,
what
it's-
CIG are doing.
It's gonna
Like
be really. It's gonna be really cool once somebody actually gets their head around that engine and puts out a decent game with it.
Yeah.
Because nobody has yet. At least I don't think so. Is there? Can somebody tell me if there's a decent Unreal 5 game out there?
Alan Wake will be, I think, the first like dedicated Unreal 5 game.
I know Ashes of Creation switched over to Unreal 5, and they showed off some pretty amazing stuff for that.
Shiver, I think if I remember what you're referring to, they did some work to make LOD creation and
Automated.
like automate a
Okay.
lot of it, so it doesn't like they don't have
It
to
was
manually
a long
create
time
them all. It was a long time, 100%. But no, Fortnite uses Lumen, which is great, but they don't do Nanite. I think Alan Wake is going to be the first big game that uses UE to its extent, and I don't even think that they're going to be using Nanite to its full extent. Nanite is it's scary. Like there is a demo video that Unreal made that shows off what Nanite does and how it does it, and you should watch it because it is like, if you're interested in
Oh, it's
game
incredible.
development,
My
it is absolutely incredible.
my thing is that it just doesn't, until some developer manages to wrap their head around it and make a game with it, then it doesn't really. It's cool, but it doesn't matter as much. I would really like to see. I can't wait to see Nanite in an open world game. Because I think that is where you can really
So-
blow the doors off in terms of quality.
We are about to start seeing the UE5 games. Lords of the Fallen,
Star Atlas.
Alan Wake, Black Myth Wukong, which looks phenomenal. Stalker 2, they're using UE5, though I think they're actually using UE4 and then they're going to port it to UE5 later due to
Yeah,
everything.
Ashes of Creation moved from 4 to 5, but they did it during. They're in their like alpha stage right now, I think.
Right. Senua's Saga. That's gonna be
That
friggin'
game
good.
is in UE5.
Yeah.
And it looks just stupidly good.
I'd still like to
yes.
see more engines out there, though.
Mhm.
Everything's Unreal or Unity.
I mean,
A lot
there's
of
a
Unity.
reason.
A lot of Unity out there.
There's a reason so
yeah.
much is Unreal. The Unreal Engine
Yeah, 'cause
is.
it's easy to use. It's not very good on. It's not really a very good engine. Let's be honest. It's great if you're developing in it, but when it comes to playing a game in it, it's always had the same stuttering problems, and it never fixed that. And it fucking gets on my tits.
I haven't seen that, but I don't know.
It's stuttering in Unreal's a phenomena. It's a known phenomena.
UE5 seems to be really good. No,
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah,
need to-
I mean-
all I was saying is that we need to see it in
yes,
game.
we do, and
Um,
I don't think that CIG can create anything similar to Nanite in Star Engine. It's
I mean, just give them another $400 million in 5 years and it'll be fine.
I think it would need a pretty fundamental rewrite to how the engine works to build Nanite in. And keep in mind, one of the things that's so good about Nanite and so good about UE right now is and they've done a smart thing, which is they are scanning just fucking everything. They're doing mega scans of
that's photogrammetry.
Yeah. And they've got a huge library of photogrammetry that is available free to use in UE5 that I mean, and I've played around with it back when I was actually working on the game, which I haven't in a while, but like there you get like a rock and you're like, okay, I want a nanite rock that's like, you know, the size of a rock, and you can take it and you can scale it to the size of a mountain and it loses no fidelity. It looks the same. And I literally created mountain ranges out of pebbles and they looked good. And that is not how this shit is supposed to work, okay? Yeah, it's really cool. Anyway. Shiver, you look like you're watching something.
I'm no, just reading up on stuff.
Oh, okay.
The limits of Nanite.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
And
are
it's
there
like,
limits?
Is that it? Okay. Oh yeah, but they're pointless limits of. Well, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
Materials for Nanite can't have two-sided materials, non-opaque blend modes. Requires DirectX 12. Okay. Limit of 50,000 nanite meshes will likely increase over time. Okay.
50,000. Oh my goodness. Like
Non-animatable. And
you don't want it for animated stuff. You want it for static meshes.
Yeah, it's
like,
for the environment.
Yeah, that's not a problem. That is not a problem.
No, like Nanite is insane. It's really, really good tech. Like it's just good tech.
That's why I said that I would really love to see. That's what I want to see is an open world game using Nanite, because that's what its promise is the environments, making really, really believable, amazing environments very quickly and easily. And I would love to see like an Elder Scrolls game in UE5. That's what I was hoping that they would do it, but they did not.
But I still want more engines out there.
Yes, you should make one.
I agree.
It can be the Shiv engine.
Bring back Carmack.
There are 3 engines out there that are like easily usable by people.
What's up, Kemi? What did I say that was?
Shit. What's the third one? Unity, Unreal. What's the third?
Lumberyard.
Usable. That it's not a usable engine.
I know.
I mean, usable as like third-party software.
Usable as in, I'm going to learn how to make a game in Lumberyard. No, you're fine.
It's UE.
No.
It's UE and Unity. That's it.
I think that's basically it right now in terms of ones that are easy. There are other ones. There are like small engines that are used for specific things.
Source 2, yeah, you're right, Darsh.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Source 2, yeah.
That'll be a good one for sure. There are like some small engines that people use to make little games.
Yeah.
Like RPG Maker.
A lot of not exactly big companies.
Oh,
you
just
know,
little tiny develop like
biggish- yeah,
like
they've
one
got their
person
own
developers.
in-house engines. Yeah.
I mean, there's like the Frostbite engine that EA has, but man, they've had lots of problems with that engine.
Yeah.
And developers especially, like so many devs like calling it out and saying it's like impossible to use, which isn't great. Actually, also like it's impossible to use, and apparently EA was forcing everyone to use it for a while, which
That's
was
what I heard too. Yeah.
that's a bad combination. Anybody know anything about the status of the next Mass Effect game?
I know they're doing Dragon Age 4 first.
Are they okay?
Mm.
Kind of funny that
built on
kind of weird
Frostbite?
that they announced Mass Effect before finishing Dragon Age, but okay. Are they making them at the
I mean,
same
they're
time?
big enough now, though, aren't they? Because I would
Well-
would hope that they're being handled by two different.
They did also
BioWare
just fire a
studios.
bunch of people, so who knows what the hell's going on over there.
Mhm.
Well,
I-
yeah, I mean, it's...
After
Yeah.
after that last Mass Effect game, 3 or
Shall not be
Andromeda,
named.
3 or Andromeda, either one, depending on how you count. After that last Mass Effect game, I don't think they've got the soul there anymore. Honestly.
No.
I always remain hopeful. I'm really glad that Bethesda put out another good game.
Yep.
I was wondering about them if they would continue the slide that happened from Fallout 3 to Fallout, or from Skyrim to Fallout 4, even from Oblivion to Skyrim, which I personally liked Oblivion more than Skyrim quite a lot.
Morrowind was the best of the 3.
I personally liked Oblivion more, but I was also probably the age that I was at the time. I loved Morrowind, but I preferred Oblivion.
Oh god, Mass Effect 2, what a game!
Mass
I'm
Effect 2 is
sorry, but
incredible.
Emmy 1
What
was
a
better.
game.
Mass Effect 1 was better.
They were both really good.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a tough call.
Mass Effect 1 is a better RPG. Mass Effect 2 is a better game.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
right.
they-
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
They resolved
Yeah.
a lot of the combat issues in Mass Effect 2.
But they
Yeah.
lost a lot of the like definability of your build, in that there was loot progression, and they lost quite a bit of the like freedom to be good, evil, neutral, I think, in 2. But
I enjoyed 2 because it felt like you were playing a character in a movie at times. There were
it did.
moments of it was combat, no doubt about it, but some of the banter that was going on, some of the things that were going on, it felt like I'm playing in a fucking movie at times. I really liked that.
It was very good. But I will always hate 2 a little bit because they got rid of my favorite thing in 1, which was lift push. You could, because in 2 they switched everything to one timer, so you could lift, but then you'd have to push with another character. You couldn't lift push, whereas in 1 your abilities were all on separate timers, so you could lift and then you could push, which I thought was a better way to do the system. I thought that they made a better shooting game in 2. The gunplay was better, but they powered down
we have had
on...
this conversation last week when I had a bit of time to actually sit down and play the fucking remasters. Now this week I haven't got the fucking time, and I'm here like,
Also, I'm
I can
sorry, but
fucking play that.
I've heard from a very good source that there's no point to playing the remasters. Go back and mod the old games with... Really?
Can't get Mass Effect 1 to run on my PC.
Oh, that's shit. I'm sorry.
Why, David?
Because they didn't do a very good job with it, and the mods that upscaled and upresed do a better job than the
That does make sense.
the remastered editions. is what I was told by a certain llama, and I very much trust the llama, because there was a point where the llama and I were developing a TTRPG based on Mass Effect 1. Such was our love of Mass Effect 1.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How easy is
I
it to mod
yeah.
ME1?
No idea. I've never done it.
Depends on what kind of mods you want to add. Some of them you need Texas texture mod or something like that. Others you could use like another third-party mod manager. I think Nexus supports.
I was gonna
Mass Effect
ask
1.
you. I was gonna ask if Nexus Mods supports ME1 because
but
that's an easy way.
they're going through that cycle at the moment where their first mod launcher, they lost a developer, they dumped it, brought out Vortex. They lost a developer on that, so they're dumping it and bringing out a third one.
Oh, really? Are they? Like, I liked Vortex. I thought it was decent.
I like Vortex was nice and easy to use, and it was very on-screen instructions. Yeah, that's cool and everything. But at the same time, it's like, did I successfully mod this or not?
There
I
was
don't
that,
know.
but I really liked being able to go through the site, click, use with Vortex, and then not have to do anything. I really liked that. Just
yeah.
make it easy for me, because
I know there is a way to do it in Vortex, but it's strangely enough it's hidden away apparently of being able to change the load order of mods. I don't know. I never used it for that. I used a fucking Skyrim
loader.
mod
Yeah,
load change thing. Yeah.
All I know is the last game I modded at all was Mountain Blade Bannerlord. It didn't go great because it wasn't really released yet. I do love Bannerlord though, but I mean, it's Starfield is out. I'm gonna play a bunch of vanilla Starfield, and then I'm gonna figure out how to mod it. Give the modders 6 months.
Oh God!
And
They'll have created an entire new game.
It's no longer Starfield, it's Star Meadow.
That's right. Hopefully they fix the fucking map.
yeah. Oh, I'm sure they will. I'm sure.
Probably
they will.
already have.
I mean, yeah, probably.
Man.
Anyway, we are approaching the end of this episode, and we mostly talked about Starfield.
For the most part, we had some Star Citizen in there for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was not bad. I had fun.
I always have fun. I didn't
Sure,
say
what
that.
do
I
you
didn't
got
say
going
the
on?
line yet, though. I haven't said it yet.
Because I don't think this is.
Well, you don't think any of them are.
It's true. I question why people still watch us.
Because we're
They
entertaining,
don't.
David.
These are all my alts in chat. I thought you figured that out.
I was going to mention, my most recent game I modded was I actually got the itch to go back and play Fallout 4 again.
Oof, I'm sorry.
And that was earlier this year, and I had a great time. But of course, I modded the bejesus out of it because why not? Yeah, it was funny. I was running, I think, like 15 mods, probably somewhere in that range.
15?
Yeah, and it was awesome. I had a blast.
So in the same friends group of like Commander Llama, I've got another friend, Burlap, who is an experienced modder, and he, love him to bits because he will put together.
Had a great job until he got the sack.
He'll put together like 100 mod long lists of like, these are all the mods that you do, and you do them in this order, and it works really well, and it's nice.
That's pretty cool.
He does it. He's done it.
Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2, and the only regret I have with that is I don't have a speaker system because the guns on that are amazing.
I was gonna say earlier when we were talking about like gun sounds and stuff, but to me, laser guns, they can sound like whatever. I don't give a shit. assault rifles, whatever, they go pew 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 pew. To me,
Oh, and Xenonauts 2, I've been playing that. That's all right.
to me, the true test of video game gun sound design is your shotguns. I want, like, the shotguns gotta feel like they're, like, there's gotta be some boom to them, you know? There's gotta be some heft and some weight and some, like, fuck yeah, you know? And I never get that with energy shotguns. I find the idea of an energy shotgun just stupid. Like, don't.
No.
No. It's not a shotgun. You're not shooting shot. I want a fucking blunderbuss. I want the ability in Star Citizen to have a blunderbuss and pack that blunderbuss full of things that I found in the environment and then shoot. And have, like, baseballs.
Hang on.
If you're gonna show me the gun that I'm thinking of,
Do you know what that gun was used for?
look, where? Yes, Shiver. You know what the funny thing is? It's exactly the gun that I knew you were going to post. I know that gun.
The pump
I
gun.
love that gun. Yeah,
You know what it was used for?
yeah,
Ducks.
killing entire flocks of ducks.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
There's 5 ducks over there. No, there isn't.
Oh, it wasn't 5 ducks. It's like, there's like 50 ducks over there. Not anymore.
Yeah, but you would use it on 5. You'd use it
you
on
gotta-
1, let's be honest.
you
Anything
gotta
to fire
post
that.
it. You gotta post it in the chat for people to see because I can't show it. Is there like a link to it? I don't have a link to it. Yeah, no, that's exactly that is exactly the gun that I knew that you were gonna post.
And you fire, and all you get is a big cloud of feathers.
Yeah.
Everything else is gone.
The good thing about it is it actually cooks the duck as well in the same time.
Yeah, the mist is well cooked.
The bad thing is the dog is so busy getting all the ducks that he doesn't have time to laugh at you for any of the misses.
Oh, that's problematic. That's a bad feature.
I have a thing for that.
Oh, Shiver.
Oh, Lord.
Pixie.
I love it.
Hey, Pixie.
Hello.
Look, I've got like 3 references in my repertoire. So today, okay, just
Were you
before
old
we
enough
end,
are you old enough to have played Duck Hunt when it was
I
released?
played Duck
Yep.
Hunt on NES
Yep.
with
Me
the
and
gun.
David-
Yeah,
Me and David were
apparently
the right age.
that gun didn't do fucking anything. Apparently,
did.
There
It did.
Apparently, there was some weird thing that they did to trick the gun.
No.
So I don't know.
what it did is it would take like the briefest of picture of where it was looking, and when you clicked the button, the screen would actually turn a different color, and the ducks are like a rectangle outlined in like black or something, and it would check to see if it was pointing at the black. As I understand it, I could be wrong, but my understanding was it did do something, but it was really just like there's a rectangle
I know it
around
wasn't-
the ducks.
Yeah, it was a weird workaround, I guess, for it to simulate the fact that
mean,
it worked, and that was
The fact
Yeah.
that it worked at all is pretty
Yes.
amazing considering when they did it.
But it did genuinely work. It was not great, but it did work, and there
Well,
were
it
a
definitely
million
did
ways.
It definitely did something. I mean, you could tell
Yeah.
when you're playing.
Well,
Hmm.
and I think because if I remember right, because it was like the rectangle turned black when you shot it, you could cover the gun with your hand and just shoot into your hand, and it would register hits because it was seeing black each time.
It was more effective than shooting right on the screen.
Yes, shooting right on the
Oh,
screen
man.
didn't work. Anyway, it was a whole thing. I loved that thing. It was great.
I hated it. I hated it.
My first console was an NES. I bought it from a friend when the SNES came out. My first
was an NES as well, but it's thanks to the NES and the SNES that I hate platform games, because that was basically it.
That was all there was.
Well,
It's-
that was all the decent games. Yeah.
It's thanks to
Street
the
Fighter
NES. Yeah. There was
Sick.
one like Shinobi type game that I still haven't
Oh,
found.
Shinobi, was
I
it?
don't know what it was, but no, for me it's thanks to the NES and the SNES that I love Zelda. Because those were the best games on the system. A Link
They were
to the
certainly-
Past.
Beast or something like that. Shadow of the Beast.
Yeah. It wasn't Ninja Gaiden, Kemi. But A Link to the Past on the SNES still holds up today as like that is a fantastic game. It is. Anyway, we are over time. Shiver, what do you have going on this week?
Yeah, is that this week? I think this week we've got. Oh shit, we have got a fair bit. Softy is doing Shadowrun on Monday in your time zone, 10:30 UTC. Then Thursday at 10:30 UTC, Softy is running a new VTM game, a Sabat set game in London. And then I'm doing Oxford's Ashes, the fantastic Spoken of Return, 22:30 UTC on Friday, your time zone. And we have more coming up.
Yay!
Yeah.
We don't have too much over on our end. It's just, come back same time next week as we do the same thing we do every week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
It was great to talk to you all.
Great to talk to you
And Strange New
all.
Worlds is fantastic, by the way,
Oh,
including the strangely compelling musical episode.
Can I? Okay. I gotta.
Damn, I'm sorry,
gotta-
everyone.
I'm sorry. I have to vent for a second. Okay.
No.
I really
Uh-oh.
need to vent. Have either of you watched The Witcher season 1 and season 2?
What's
Yes.
season 1? That's it.
Okay, so Cass and I just finished season 3, and season 3 is, in my
Shit, wasn't
opinion,
it?
some of the worst television I've ever seen in my entire life. It was
Really, there's some pretty bad
shit.
television out there.
No, genuinely some of the worst TV I've ever seen. It was bad. The
What-
last
what's going
episode,
on?
the last episode was okay, but 7 episodes of shit. And I'm so fucking annoyed because The Witcher was good. It was good TV, and
Mhm.
they killed it. Season 3 sucks. Like, genuinely sucks.
I'm really glad I didn't get too attached to that show.
I've told Cass that
Oh, wow.
Strange New Worlds is next, so I'm really excited to
it's
move to
amazing.
Strange New Worlds next, and then
just
we're
looked
going
at
back
the-
to Wheel of Time season 2.
I just looked at the episode ratings for season 3. They are horrible.
It's a really, really bad season, and I do not blame Henry Cavill for leaving, and I'm glad he left,
Nope.
and I hope that Netflix realize that they shat on a money printing series by
All they had to
siding.
do was make the rest of it. What the hell are they doing?
I mean,
They
yeah, Netflix is a weird animal.
what they did is they sided with the show directors and writers who didn't like the stories and like the books and wanted to do their own thing with it, whereas Henry Cavill was like, no, the books are great, let's stick to the books.
And then it forgot. I've been meaning to tell you this for quite some time. In Games Workshop financial report, they did mention that talks are still ongoing with Henry Cavill and Amazon vis-a-vis a series.
Yes.
Ooh.
Warhammer series. Henry Cavill
So-
has said that he
Mhm.
wants to do a Warhammer series. He wants to do like a Space Marine 40K Warhammer series. And there was
Yes,
something.
No.
There was.
They need
Nope.
to do what they should do is they've got the books for the Horus Heresy. Televise that. That would last fucking years and be incredibly compelling, accessible content, and acts as a way for people to actually get into the world as well, rather than just here's 40k. I think.
I think he's also in talks to do a recast of the Highlander as well,
Yes.
which
Okay.
I genuinely think Cavill is great.
He's awesome. He's fantastic.
Yep.
I
I've never met
feel
him.
bad for him that they totally flushed the Witcher series because
I thought
See,
he was a
didn't
great
have to.
Superman.
See, the interesting thing here is so Netflix acquired the rights, and then whoever the showrunners were for season 1 and season 2 did a really good job of season 1 and season 2 with The Witcher. And then I think it changed to someone new in season 3 because
I
everything
think
is
the
different.
showrunners did change.
Nothing makes sense, and the showrunners sucked. Like they genuinely butchered it. And honestly, if you haven't watched any of The Witcher, one, watch season 1 and season 2 because they are genuinely fantastic. Like they're great. Season 1 suffers a little bit from some time weirdness, like the episodes are out of order and you got to sort of figure out what's going on. It's a bit weird. Season 2 is excellent. And then honestly, watch parts of season 3. Like start watching season 3 because it is really impressive how bad they did. Like they had to try to fuck up this hard. Like, no word of a lie, I could write a better series.
Apparently, it's been the same showrunner the whole time. So I don't know what
Really?
they did, but
Anyway, I had to get that off my chest. I've been meaning to for a while. It pissed me off so much. But Strange New Worlds is fantastic. I'm really looking forward to watching season 2. Oh,
Season
actually
2 is
no, hang
awesome.
on. While I have the pulpit, I have something very important for all of you.
Star Trek is amazing.
No, more important than that.
Fuck you, it is.
No, it is. But there's something more important. Because
Okay,
have
go.
either of you watched Good Omens?
Yes. So is Pixie.
I'm working on it. I love that show. I haven't watched the new stuff.
Shiver, did you watch season 2 of Good Omens?
Mhm.
Okay, here's my thing. Everyone, please go watch season 1 and season 2 of Good Omens because I need a season 3. I will strangle someone to get a season 3.
I don't think that's how that works.
I don't care. Yeah, Pixie, I'm with you. Season 2 has killed me. I'm like,
Are
If that's what we're doing,
Sure.
Final Space.
Gonna-
I want another Final Space. Let them finish the story. And Invincible season 2. Watch fucking Invincible.
Invincible's coming. Invincible season 2's coming. Fuck off, Shiver.
Yeah.
Talk about something that matters. Good Omens. So good.
Are you sure they're going to do a third season?
They if it does well enough, they will do a third season. If it doesn't do well enough and they don't renew it for a third season, Neil Gaiman has said that he will write the ending in a novel. So we
Okay.
will get
And-
the ending.
And bring back BoJack Horseman.
I don't care about Sandman, but Sandman's too serious. Good Omens is the perfect middle ground
Omens
between
is
Neil
amazing.
Gaiman's seriousness and Terry Pratchett hilarity. It works. The two together. Neil Gaiman on his own's too serious. I didn't like him.
And while we're here,
What is-
I want a proper ending for Jason and Wield Warriors. It's been 40 years, but I think we're due.
How does
All right,
How does Good Omens only have an 8 out of 10 on
I
IMDb?
don't
It should
know.
be like 9.
Because it didn't have enough episodes. It needed more.
Or did the religious people just come in and like shout
Actually-
all over it?
Actually, on that question, Shiver, have you watched Our Flag Means Death?
What? Well, no.
Our flag means death.
Okay.
Look it up. Look it up. Our flag means death.
Ooh, this looks like it's amazing.
This is phenomenal.
It's a pirate
Yes.
show.
No, Shiver.
Uh,
Shiver. The romance in Good Omens.
mhm.
Our flag means death does as good a job of watch it.
That's not my problem. My problem with it is pirates.
Yeah, but it's well done.
You don't
pirates.
like
it's
pirates?
funny. It's funny
Oh.
pirates. It's
Oh.
hilarious pirates.
Shiver's killing me.
Trust me, Shiver. Trust me.
Is that the title of your upcoming pop song? Shiver, shiver, trust me.
Yes.
Shiver, trust me. Shiver, trust me. Goodbye, everyone. Love you
And
all.
that's
Have a
all
good
they